running plays with the dragons, cresting waves with the kraken. Believe me, it's not all fiction. Poetry in motion to galvanize the descriptions of safe harbors. When even safe has its limits, hard to play possum when you're both the sufferer and witness. There's a part of me I don't want to see. It's in the place within my soul where my primitive monster grieves. Triggered by what
I'm Tavis Smiley. We have moved into the second hour of today's program, and I'm pleased to have you tuned in today. What a wonderful tribute. I hope you thought it was a wonderful tribute, at least, to the Reverend James M. Lawson Jr. What a delight to talk to my friends and brothers, Cornel West and Mark Willie Thomas, celebrating the life of this great love warrior, the Reverend James M. Lawson Jr., contemporary of Dr. King, who passed away earlier this week at the age of 95. Loved the opportunity to commemorate his incredible life, celebrate his work and his witness on this program. In this hour, as promised, two conversations. On the B-side, we'll speak with Jessica Guadalupe Tovar as part of our continuing series on climate justice as we prepare for our live symposium on C-SPAN Tuesday night. This coming Tuesday night, June 18th, we'll be live on C-SPAN with an all-star panel of nothing but black people talking about the urgency of now, climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. I'm looking forward to moderating that panel this Tuesday night, the 18th, live on C-SPAN, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 4 Pacific, so tune in. We're going to flip the script and let the whole nation, for the first time ever, see a bunch of us, our people in the beloved community, talking about the intersection of climate and the black community. And so we'll talk to Jessica on the B side of this hour as part of our continuing year-long series about climate and our community. But we commence this hour, again, as promised, with Grammy Award-winning songwriter and rapper Che Rhymefest Smith, who joins us to talk about, wait for it, his campaign for school board in Chicago. Plus, he has a new album project out called James and Nikki, A Conversation. You just heard some sound from that. You can figure out who the James is and who the Nikki is. You heard their voices, James Baldwin, Nikki Giovanni, A Conversation. So we'll talk to Rhymefest about that as well. I'm pleased to welcome Rhymefest to this program. Rhymefest, how are you, sir?
Brother Tavis Smiley, how are you, my brother? Oh, can I tell you something real quick, Tavis?
Please.
Your book, The Death of a King, made me view King in a whole nother light, which I'm so happy that the rappers and artists are tuning into that book. Because from that book, I had a rap line that started, the last year of King's life, everybody hated him. They assassinated him, and then we celebrated him. You humanized King in such a way that it still made him, you made him more of a hero by talking about the duality of King. I love you for that book. You made King more than a yearly holiday. You made him a superhuman that I can aspire to be. That's how the Bible should talk about Jesus.
Now you preaching, and you ain't taking a text yet, and you need a license to do that. You need a license to preach, man. But
come on, I ain't got no certificate. None of the real teachers ever had a license.
That's true. Now you preaching again. You're right. The real ones never had. Malcolm didn't have a license, man. So I take your point. First of all, let me just start by saying I appreciate those kind words. We all want to be acknowledged and loved and respected and affirmed. We want to do work that matters. At least I do. And so when you write something like that and it resonates with people, it means something to me and to my mama listening back right now in Indiana. So thank you for those kind words, number one. I feel the exact same way about you, which is why I wanted you on this program. You and I have a number of mutual friends there in the city of Chicago, and when I got word that you were making this move vis-a-vis the school board, I said, get Rhymefest on the show. So I'm glad that you have squeezed us into your schedule and given us some time. I've got 2 minutes right here, right now, but we got the rest of the half hour when we come forward. But in these 2 minutes, tell me why you're running for school board, and I'll interrogate that when we come forward, sir.
Yes, well, this is the first ever school board election in the city of Chicago. Our school board is $10 billion a year in a budget that the people have never been able to have access to control. Now, the taxpayers get squeezed. 6 out of every $10 of my property taxes go to schools. Yet, for the last forever, there's been an appointed school board by the mayor. I'm running for school board because as an artist, as an educator, as a servant of community and lover of our children, I know that we can reimagine what these boards look like, not just bean count, but actually reimagine our own institutions. They set these things up politically so that only the politicos can get the office, the people who take private funding and private money. These are congressional districts that these school boards look like. But to end it off so we can get into the next segment, they didn't count on me bringing back what Chicago has given me to invest in this election, and I am the outside candidate.
Rhymefest, y'all, is running for school board in the Windy City, and I am honored to have him on this program. He's being heard right now on his home station, WVON, the voice of the Negro. I love WVON. And so they're hearing him in Chicago, and for that matter, all across the country. But when we come forward, more dialogue with Rhymefest about his run for public office, the school board in the city of Chicago, and we'll talk more about this new project with James and Nikki and James, this conversation. I love it. You're listening, and I'm glad about it, to Rhymefest right now on Tavis Smiley.
Trying to rhyme and our lives turn to a musical. Entourage turn enemies, but I'ma turn this industry into my ministry. Never left the south side.
This is getting good.
Yeah, man.
Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
If you've not been feeling yourself lately, if your weight loss dreams have turned into weight gain nightmares, if you've been chasing 20 pounds for 20 years or more, then it's time for D-Herbs. D-Herbs Full Body Cleanse is a natural cleansing regimen that can help you lose 20 pounds in just 20 days. The Full Body Cleanse will also boost your immune system and improve your digestion. Summer is here, and now is as good a time as any to finally stop chasing those 20 pounds and push yourself into a healthier lifestyle. So, to reboot your system and lose weight right now, go to dherbs.com and order your full body cleanse or call 866-434-3727. If you mention Tavis, they'll give you a discount at checkout. dherbs.com. Experience healing.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
If you're an adult in need of an accredited high school diploma, the Los Angeles Public Library can help. You could earn one for free in as few as 5 months, online with 24/7 access. You also get a personal academic coach, plus special training focused on 9 in-demand industries, as well as a resume and cover letter to advance your career. Visit the website at lapl.org/diploma. That's lapl.org/diploma.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
He's rooting for everybody black. Everybody black. More of Tavis Smiley coming your way right now.
Was not supposed to happen. It made him out.
Our Savior, we honor. I used to think of holidays like lullabies, singing kids to sleep way before Spotify, spending all my cash on some presents. Why should I even celebrate? Boy, look, you made your mama cry. When you kill a vibe, that's emotional homicide. When you kill a spirit in your people, they be traumatized. When the lights glow and you see the colors harmonize, think about the story of the son that is prophesized. The Bible's a good book. I give it a 10. The hero died and came back in the end. When Bethlehem was trapping the men, that reminded me of me and my friends. A lot of men be trying to pretend like we don't sin. That's when the devil gets.
I hate stepping on Rhyme Fest, and I love this track. I love the entire project. But the conversation must go on as we are talking about his race, his run for the school board. First time ever. They are now about to have an elected school board in the Windy City. He's running for the school board by his own admission as an outsider. We'll talk more about his race for school board in Chicago in a moment. But you're listening to a track called Black Man. It's featuring C. Red and D. Lyles. You heard a track earlier called Triggered, featuring Helix C. Armageddon. These tracks are featured on his new project called James and Nikki, A Conversation. I was honored. Never had a chance to meet James Baldwin, but was honored and am honored to know and to call Nikki Giovanni a friend. She's been on this program, all of my programs, everything I've done for the last 30 years. I've never had a platform on which Nikki Giovanni did not appear. She was on this program earlier this year, talking about the documentary, about her life. And her work and her witness. You heard Rhymefest earlier mention my book, Death of a King, but The Covenant with Black America, which came out, believe it or not, 20 years ago. The 20th anniversary edition of that book, The Covenant, drops this summer, just in time, speaking of Chicago, for the Democratic Convention in the city of Chicago. So the book, The Covenant, the 20th anniversary edition, drops this summer with new essays looking back on what we did and said 20 years ago. And I am honored to tell you that Nikki Giovanni writes the afterword. She has written the afterword for the 20th anniversary edition of The Covenant. And here comes our friend Rhymefest now with a new album called James and Nikki, A Conversation. I mentioned the two tracks we've already played. Rhymefest, before we get back to your race for school board, tell me about this new project, man. It is fire, brother.
Yeah, well, and we have to say happy birthday to Mother Giovanni. Her birthday recently passed, 81st birthday.
That's right.
But, when I was able to speak to her and when I was going about this project, I'd start seeing on the internet, though, that clip from that WNET Soul interview, Brother David Ellis Haslip, and produced the show, and the clip where she says to James Baldwin, lie to me. You go and you smile at him at work every day.
That's right.
You give him the best of you. You come home, I get the worst. And when I saw that clip, I said, why is she talking to him like that? What's going on? I went and saw that whole interview, and I said, see, this is what's going on with our history. What you do with your books, when you do The Covenant, when you do Death of a King, we have to continue to remix the words, reshape the memories so that people today who didn't get that word in that time can understand it and what it means to them today. Books have to be remade, remixed, rewritten so that people of the time can understand. We could read the Bible in Aramaic and not know what's going on. But if you read it in English, it's basic instructions before leaving Earth. So now what I did with that clip, I said, I'm going to turn this into my next project, but I can't do it by myself. If I'm channeling the spirit of James, I need a Nikki to counteract and counter what I'm saying, because as intellectuals, Tavis, we like to think we have the point until somebody else says there's another way of looking at it. So I went and got I got the women rappers, because right now women are the hottest thing in rap music. So I got all the dope women rappers I could find, and I said, you guys be Nikki, I'll be James. Let's play their clips. They're the soil, we're the seeds, and the music is the fruit.
I've said to this audience on more than one occasion, if you have never, ever seen, and Rhymefest teed it up quite nicely, if you have never, ever seen the conversation between James Baldwin and Nikki Giovanni, Google it. You can find it on the internet. But you need to watch that thing from beginning to end. I have never, I say this all the time, Rhymefest, I have never in my life seen a conversation between two towering intellectuals, male and female, that has moved me the way that conversation with Nikki and James Baldwin moves me every time I see it. I had Nikki on my program on the 25th anniversary of that conversation, and I had her back on this program a year or so ago for the 50th anniversary of that conversation. So I've talked to Nikki about this more times than I can count. Every time I see her, I said, Nikki, let's talk about it. She said, Tavis, you always ask me about that. And I said, tell me some more. So it is the richest thing I have ever seen. So I can only imagine how it impacted you when you saw it, because it does something for me every time I watch it, Ron Fest.
Well, hold on. I had to sit and chop it up to put it in songs and make songs around it and pivot of what does it mean in my life today. And I got so deep in that conversation, Tavis, I realized something people never talked about. In that conversation between James and Nikki, you were seeing them do poetry together.
Yes.
It was mother and father, husband and wife, artist to artist, teacher to student, straight to bisexual, bisexual to homosexual. You started to see so many. It gives me chills to think about the alchemy that they were creating in a moment.
No, it was it is rich to be sure. And again, if you've never seen it, don't take my word for it. Take Ron Fest's word for it. If you don't believe me, you should sit and spend some time watching that conversation between James Baldwin and Nikki Giovanni. I can assure you, and Ron Fest will attest, you will not be disappointed. You'll be challenged. You'll have to re-examine the assumptions you hold. But I can assure you it will expand your inventory of ideas, give you a different way and prism through which to see the world. So I highly recommend it. I'm just thrilled when I heard that Ron Fest had done a project based on that conversation between James and Nikki. Once again, the project is called James and Nikki, A Conversation. That is his new album, James and Nikki, A Conversation. We played again 2 tracks from that already in this program. Now, the time I have left, I want to circle back to this school board race. Help me in the audience, the national audience listening right now, understand better. Every city has their own way of doing it, but why has Chicago never had elected school board members, and what happened to change the frame right about now?
Well, to think about why we've never had an elected school board, you got to go back to a book called Boss and Old Man Daly and how he set this town up for the mayor to have total control. We're talking about a $10 billion a year budget. There wasn't no way Old Man Daly and Son Daly and Rahm Emanuel were letting the constituents have say-so over those type of institutions. But now what happened? Redlining, underserved communities, underserved schools. 10 years after Flint, Chicago Public Schools still has lead pipes in our 80-year-old buildings. We still have asbestos in the buildings. We still have rats and mice and roaches and, excrement in the lunches. I mean, this goes back to recently. So the teachers union in Chicago had been fighting for the last 20 years to have an elected school board. Now that you have Mayor Brandon Johnson in office, it was a real challenge, because what happened was the people said, and the teachers union supported Mayor Brandon Johnson. He was a member of the teachers union. He was a teacher.
That's right.
And so now the city said, are you still going to have that elected school board, or do you want the power like all the other mayors? And they said, no, we're going to do an elected school board. And here we are.
Tell me a bit more about your campaign. I talked to our mutual friend. I mentioned earlier, you and I have a lot of mutual friends in Chicago, none who I love more than Gerard McClendon. I love Gerard. And
Dr. McClendon.
Dr. McClendon is my boy. Love him dearly, love his family, and I think often of his parents and the tragedy of their murder in Chicago some years ago. But he comes from good stock, and I love Dr. Gerard McClendon. So again, we have many friends there in the city of Chicago. That said, I am curious to learn more about your specific campaign. I asked you earlier why you're running. You answered that, but tell me more about the campaign, Ron Fest, and why. In fact, you said earlier, by your own words, that you're running as an outsider, so to speak.
Well, I'm going to say this, Tavis. Unfortunately, I was a high school dropout. I went to South Shore High School. I felt warehoused. I had all the potential in the world. That high school had none of the resources. I felt like I was being poverty managed when I was in high school, and I could do better outside I've been outside the system since 16, and I could do better outside the system than I could inside the system. But that's not what our children deserve. And I want to go back to what you just said about my spiritual advisor, my brother, my counselor, my guide, my mentor, Dr. Gerard McClendon. I want to not only thank him, but the institution he comes from, Chicago State University. I had another mentor named Dr. Donda West that was the dean of the English department at Chicago State University. Chicago State University has been working in my life all my life, and I didn't even know it. And thank you, Dr. Z. Scott, Andrea Zopp, and the board. They recently looked at the philanthropy and the work I've been doing in the community and awarded me with an honorary doctorate. That was the first time I ever walked across a stage. You know, and it's that time. Oh, and what you did with We Count, I'd never seen anybody bring that many luminaries to Chicago State.
Oh,
Tavis,
yeah.
You bought Dr. West, Jesse Jackson. You bought
the brother minister. The brother minister was there that day. Yeah.
The minister, Dorothy Tillman.
Yeah.
You set it off, and ever since then, I start seeing a change in how that university connects to the south side of the city since that. So everybody, what I'm seeing, Tavis, it may not be the institutions, but if we, as the servers and the people of the community, come together and put our gifts in, we are the institution. And so how I look at it as a rapper, and I'll tell you about my platform, but too many artists get used by politicians to bring a subject matter to light. Congressman John Conyers, if it wasn't for him tapping Stevie Wonder to write Happy Birthday, there would have never have been a Dr. King holiday.
Right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah,
Stevie made that happen.
That's right. Nope, I hear you.
You know, so I see how artists all my life, working with Ye, working with Common, working with all these, I see how artists are used to move people, but are never invited to the table to create the policy. And so what I'm focused on right now is it's called BCP, Budget, Curriculum, and Personnel. The schools are underfunded in Chicago by $450 million right now. Now, remember I told you there's a $10 billion a year budget. Right. The state is legally required to appropriately fund our schools, and we have been shorted by $1 billion for the last 3 governors. And every time the state, it comes to funding schools, they're in a cash crunch. Right now, Illinois is an illegal state by its own constitution. So if the schools are short by 450, if you just give us what we deserve, state of Illinois, we can do what we need to do for our children financially. Curriculum, we need modern curriculum. We don't have a librarian in every school. We don't have arts, drama, theater. This is the city of Lorraine Hansberry. Why is there not a theater in every school? You know, playwrights, things like that. I would like to help bring that curriculum to our school. And personnel, our kids are going through trauma. We need case managers. You could have a golden apple teacher in a school. But if that golden apple teacher is dealing with a bunch of young people suffering from trauma, IEPs, 504s, all this stuff they're going through, she cannot spend the time doing what she is trained to do, which is teach. So I want to make sure every school has case managers, speakers, counselors, and nurses. And these are the things that I want to do. And also, the community needs transparency because in Chicago, traditionally, because the school board has been controlled, it's been a shadow school board. And nobody even knew what the school board did or who was on it. So I want to bring transparency and do participatory voting. All of my votes will come from an intergenerational commission. And lastly, Tavis, I want to create a pipeline to give this seat away to the kids. So, you know, we got to bring civics back to school so these young people learn what civics is and means to them so that in a few terms I can say, okay, you guys debate it out, and then we'll give a treasure chest to whoever ascends, and we can pass it on to the students.
Rhymefest, I love that platform. BCP, budget, curriculum, and personnel. I don't live in Chicago, although it's my favorite city. I love Chicago, as you and all my friends know. I love the Windy City, and I don't live there. I can't vote for you, but I can support you. So look for something in the mail, brother. Look for something in the mail.
Donate. Go to Rhymefest for CPS and donate right now. Rhymefest4CPS.com.
Look for something in the mail, Rhymefest. I have been honored to have had you on this program. I enjoyed the conversation immensely. Rhymefest, running for school board in their very first ever school board election in the city of Chicago. I wish him all the best in that campaign. And his new project is called new album, James and Nikki, A Conversation. Rhymefest, I love you, man. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Good to have you on this program.
I love you, brother. Have a good day.
More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former President Trump is meeting with congressional Republicans on Capitol Hill today. The presumptive GOP nominee for president will huddle with both House and Senate Republicans. House Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell will attend the meetings. It will be Trump's first meeting with lawmakers since he was convicted on 34 felony counts in his New York hush money case. A federal grand jury is indicting an Arizona man on multiple gun trafficking charges in an alleged plot for a racially motivated mass shooting. The state's U.S. Attorney's Office says Mark Adams Prieto was charged Tuesday. The agency says Prieto talked to two people about coming up with a plan to incite a race war with African Americans and other minorities prior to the presidential election. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. At Blindster, we offer over 50 different custom window treatments, including faux wood blinds and shutters, all at prices less than retail. Plus, we'll send you free samples before you buy. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers' 4-game winning streak was snapped by their former shortstop, Corey Seager, now with the Texas Rangers, hit a 3-run homer last night to spark the Rangers' offense. Seager's homer was all the Rangers needed to get the win. The Angels had 14 hits in their win at Arizona. The Boston Celtics are one win away from claiming the NBA championship. They beat Dallas to go up 3-0. The dynamic duos on both teams were on top of their games last night. Boston's Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown combined for 61 points. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving combined for 62 for Dallas. The difference was that Tatum and Brown got far more support from their teammates than Irving and Doncic. The Celtics got a combined 45 points from Derek White, Al Horford, Drew Holiday, Xavier Tillman, and Sam Hauser. Game 4 is Friday night in Dallas. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, your sports connection here at KBLA Talk 1580. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough every Saturday night at 7 for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. We take you beyond the scores and press conferences. We give you our point of view, the way black folks see what's going down. You can join the conversation and give us your analysis at 1-800-920-1580. Out of Bounds every Saturday night at 7 on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You like the style, though.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Pardon the interruption. It's me, Tavis Smiley, here to remind you that we are now just days away from our historic Climate Justice Symposium live on C-SPAN this coming Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center. We are now pushing capacity. So if you plan to join us, stop procrastinating and get to KBLA1580.com right now and register. Attendance is free, but registration is mandatory. Black folk are flying into LA from all across the country to be in the room when we go live to the world with a stage full of black brilliance on the eve of Juneteenth. And you live here, you better get to KBLA1580.com right now and claim your seat.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Family Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data, and you get to choose who joins your family plan starting as low as $25 a line.
Does it have to be family?
It can be family or people you like.
Get more lines and more savings. Switch to Straight Talk for family plan starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
No more reaction. You are my center attraction. Every beat of my heartbeat is your song.
Hurt and harm, you're my protection. The path I take is your direction. 'Cause I know with you I can go wrong. Ever since that day I asked you into my heart, my world has changed, so promise me you'll never part. 'Cause I'm lost without you.
It's BB and CeCe Winans on Tavis Smiley. June is Black Music Month, and every day during the month of June we choose a particular artist. We call it our artist in residence, and for the entire 3-hour show on any given day, we play some of the best of their music, all 3 hours of our program, weaving in and out of these conversations with these amazing guests. And today, it's the Winans, the entire Winans family. We have been playing stuff from the Winans, the brothers. This, of course, is BB and CC to you, Benjamin and Priscilla to me. Those are their real names, in case you never knew that. BB is Benjamin and CC is Priscilla. Honored to be playing their music now. We just had a great conversation with Ron Fest. We had to weave in some of his new project, but we are grateful to the Winans. So again, every day this month, we're featuring the music of some amazing black artists as we celebrate June Black Music Month. And so we've done gospel and jazz and R&B and hip hop and folk. And next week we'll get to some Bob Marley, get to some reggae. So all month long, every day I'm on the air, we're playing some of the best of these black artistic geniuses when it comes to their music contributions. And I, once again, cannot imagine my life without all this music on the soundtrack. As promised now, a conversation with Jessica Guadalupe Tovar about environmental justice. She's an amazing climate organizer. We are pushing toward Tuesday, June the 18th, when we go live on C-SPAN. It's been a long time since I've done these symposia on C-SPAN, and people keep asking me, when you're bringing it back? Well, we're back. This coming Tuesday night, June the 18th, live on C-SPAN, a stage full of nothing but black folk, talking about what I term the urgency of now: climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. We're going to flip the script. If we are the victims of these maladies, we ought to be in the conversation. This ought not to be a silent killer of people of color and poor people in the country. And so we're going to do our part to raise the level of discourse about these climate issues come Tuesday night, live in prime time on C-SPAN with an all-star panel at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 4 Pacific, and beyond that conversation all year long on this program. And in my home station in L.A., KBLA Talk 1580, we are engaged in the midst of engaged in a $2 million plus climate justice campaign all year long, and that means featuring conversations every other day, every week, with all kinds of experts about this issue. It ain't sexy, it ain't easy, and yet it is it's life or death. And as I said, I believe it's the urgency of now. So I'm pleased to welcome Jessica Guadalupe Tovar to this program. Jessica, how are you?
I am doing great. Thank you so much.
It's good to have you on. Thank you for your time. Let me jump right in. When you use or when you hear the phrase environmental racism being used, you think what about that term in this contemporary moment?
I think about my life, and I think about communities like mine that have been forced to bear the brunt of racist corporate practices in the United States of, placing polluting facilities in the poorest communities of color across the United States and beyond that, right? Because this is a practice all around the world. So I really think about my own personal experience growing up, heavily polluted community, and I also think about the responsibility that comes with that.
What do you make of the ways in which, for decades now, these corporatists have been able to get away with that? And to your mind, are we the people, the government, getting any better at holding these corporatists accountable?
For a long time, I would say like a good 20 years, I did a lot of environmental justice organizing, working directly with people who are affected by dirty energy in their communities. And so I really wanted to learn more about like the solution to that. Mm-hmm. And for the last 9 years, I've been working on what are the solutions? Like, how about flipping the script, like you said, into turning our communities from, hubs of pollution into hubs of clean energy to address the fact that, A, we need to reduce pollution locally. We need to create those clean energy jobs. We need to transition out of the dirty energy system. And the work that we do here at home benefits the global climate. And so I really have been doing this work for a while, and it's the same actors that are trying to prevent these solutions from taking off in our communities. And so I'm dealing with the same corporations that I was dealing with that were polluting our community.
I'm not naive, Jessica, in asking this question, but you've been at this for decades. Others have been at it longer than you. One of our guests next Tuesday night is Dr. Robert Bullard, who's known as the godfather, the father, if you will, of environmental justice, this movement. He's been at it for 60 years and counting. Why is it that you think for all these decades, and again, I'm not naive in asking this, corporate America, certainly those in corporate America who are behaving badly, why are they so obstinate about this? Why have they not been more receptive, more open to this notion of cleaning up their act, pardon the pun, and this notion of clean energy? Why are they fighting it so hard?
A good point. Hey, they want to make sure that they remain in power and continue reaping the profits at all costs, right?
Yeah.
Even if it means taking over the sector of solutions. And, that's what we're fighting. We're fighting for a more localized clean energy system.
Right.
And, I have to say, part of the problem is sometimes you can't tell the difference between corporations and government.
Let me do this. That's a powerful point.
Yeah.
Hold that thought. I hear that powerful point that you oftentimes can't tell the difference. When we come forward, I want to get to that part, but I also want to talk about how we advance this notion of local clean energy systems. So across the country, this is not just an LA issue or New York or Chicago. Across the country, how do we advance these notions of local clean energy systems? More with Jessica Guadalupe Tovar. We come forward on Tavis Smiley.
You're listening to Tavis Smiley. Ranked number 45 on the Heavy 100 list of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's. Save $40 on select 5-gallon HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams paint, like Weather Shield, Showcase, or Ceiling Paint. Plus, save $10 on drywall PVA primer and get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Lowe's knows paint. Lowe's knows pros. Offers valid through 6/14. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
If I labor, I said, God is gonna give me a crown. Yes, He will. Crown. If I labor, God is gonna give me a crown. He said it would. Crown. If I labor in your vineyard, I know God is gonna give me a crown. Crown.
The Winans with If I Labor. We have to do the labor to turn the tide against all that ails us, all that challenges us when it comes to climate injustice. We're talking to Jessica Guadalupe Tovar about what that labor looks like. I want to ask her in a moment about how we labor more effectively and more efficiently for local clean energy systems. But first, very quickly, watching my time, Jessica, you were saying a moment ago that oftentimes these days in these conversations, when it comes to climate justice or climate injustice, depending on one's perspective, you can't tell the difference between government and corporations. Take it away, Jessica.
Yeah, so my organization, Local Clean Energy Alliance, what we do is we try to advance policies that actually enable small businesses, think minority business, women-owned businesses, to actually get jobs and work in this sector of clean energy. And so we have to protect good policies and we have to advance good policies. And who is there? It's these corporations that are trying to undo good policies, trying to pass, bad ones. And I can't help but use the example in the state of California. The gutting of the incentives for rooftop solar is a good example of government and corporations really changing the opportunities for us to build wealth for localizing solar.
Has this notion that you referenced a moment ago, Jessica, has this notion of green jobs for everybody, has that been a real thing or has that been more lip service?
It's been a real thing, and then more recently, since some of these policies have been gutted, I mean, it's astounding how the majority of localized solar jobs have been lost in the state of California as a result of the net energy metering policy that I'm referencing that refers to the policy incentive for localized rooftop solar was gutted. And so, the payout or the worthiness of putting solar on one's roof is now very minimal. And as a result, less people are investing in that and the jobs are being lost. So this is a huge setback. This is a huge setback for California. And you have to understand what happens here. This is kind of like a ground zero for climate action, right? What happens here, it is ripple effects in the rest of the states of this country.
No.
And so
No, I agree. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I agree. I've said many times that what happens in California politics either cast a long shadow or a long sunbeam. You heard Jessica say a moment ago that we are ground zero in the fight for climate justice, and that is why next Tuesday night live from the California Science Center, we'll be talking to the nation and the world on C-SPAN about these issues of climate justice and climate equity and climate resilience, and flip the script with a stage full of nothing but people of color having their say on these issues of climate and the beloved community. Our remaining moments with Jessica Guadalupe Tovar when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. This is the Tavis Smiley Show.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the AmeriCAN Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the AmeriCAN program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The AmeriCAN Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriCANCommunity.partners. That's AmeriCANCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Made fresh daily in the Mert Park, Los Angeles, California. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Jessica Guadalupe Tovar as we talk about environmental justice, pushing toward our symposium live on C-SPAN this coming Tuesday night, June the 18th, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 4 Pacific, for a stage full of nothing but us, people of color, talking about the impact of these issues on our communities. I got 3 minutes left here in this conversation. Jessica, let me give it all to you. I wonder, given what you said earlier about what's happening here in California, Ground Zero, the rest of the country watching us and taking their cues from us on how we will navigate our way through these climate challenges. But I'm wondering what agency everyday people have when, to your point, you can't tell oftentimes the difference between government and corporate America, and they're cutting back on these programs. So if there are no incentives to buy electric vehicles, if there are no incentives to put solar on our rooftops, how do they think this change is going to happen, and what agency do everyday people have in the process?
That's a great question. You know, one thing I have to say is, as a small organization, we're trying to do everything we can to challenge that gutting of that policy. But the other thing is, it's old-fashioned community organizing. The energy democracy movement is the unfinished business of the civil rights movement. Like, we have to do everything we can to challenge the system and fight back. And it does mean connecting with organizations that are doing this work and being involved. Sometimes it's like calling your senator. Sometimes it's calling your local, city council person. You have to be engaged. You have to be engaged. And a lot of the work that we do is a lot of local work too, where it has to do with a lot of community choice agencies, which are an alternate to depending on the investor-owned utilities, the corporate utilities, if you will. And so, finding ways to be engaged is really important. And again, I invite people to check out our website, localcleanenergy.org, and, get engaged, get informed, because the only way that we can advance the good is to have that support of the voice of the people who live in these communities that are affected.
Indeed, indeed. Jessica Guadalupe Tovar, I thank you for your work and witness in this regard, in this arena, in this area, and I thank you for this conversation. All the best to you, Jessica.
Clean power to the people.
I love it. Clean power to the people. When we come forward in our remaining 1 hour today of this program, it is rare, very rare, to be in the inner circle of both Michael Jackson and Prince. But Judith Hill has that testimony, and she's got new music. Judith Hill joins us live in studio when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former President Trump is meeting with congressional Republicans on Capitol. Johnson and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell will attend the meetings. It will be Trump's first meeting with lawmakers since he was convicted on 34 felony counts